Last month, we had energy expert Alex Epstein on to discuss if Democrats saw the coronavirus crisis as an opportunity to push the Green New Deal. Watch this.
So why is the Green New Deal being brought up now?
I think this is a time when there's a general attack on freedom, when our freedom is in general being threatened and people are panicked. And so I think people who want to restrict our freedom to use the lowest cost, most reliable sources of energy and force us to use unreliable, expensive energy, they see an opportunity. But I think there's anything but a good reason, because not only would it undermine our capability to fight this specific virus, it would undermine our capability as a country.
Fast forward to now, oil markets have crashed, sending the price per barrel into negative territory. That means hundreds of U.S. oil companies could be in big trouble. So is this exactly what the far left wanted? Alex Epstein, founder of the Center for Industrial Progress and author of the New York Times bestseller, The Moral Case for Fossil Fuels, is back on the show to discuss this. Alex, we just played the clip for our viewers. It looks like you predicted this whole thing right here on our show.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw, but AOC had this tweet celebrating the crash of the oil markets. And if you think about what's causing the crash of the oil markets, it's not that solar and wind has had some great breakthrough. I would love that. It's that people are using less energy because industry is mostly shut down and our lives are mostly shut down. So this is a terrible state of affairs that we should be really upset about. But I think part of the reason there's some enthusiasm is that the Green New Deal would bring this about, but on a permanent basis. It would make energy so expensive that American industry couldn't function, would have to go overseas. And most of our lives that depend on low cost machine power from fossil fuels would be very different. We wouldn't be able to afford most of the, the enjoyment that we have in our lives today, or that we used to have 2 months ago.
Well, not only to mention that, but we also have American jobs who are working in the oil industry. I mean, their lives are being completely uprooted right now. What could happen long term if this Green New Deal could potentially push its way through?
I mean, I think the key with the jobs is it's that these are productive jobs. They're producing oil, which is the fuel of mobility. It's one of the most valuable products in all of civilization. If their jobs were being outcompeted, that would be sad, but it would be a good thing. But here it's that progress is being restricted. The people who are best at producing energy for transportation, the oil industry, they're being hurt because of a cut in demand. But the Green New Deal is saying, let's outlaw their product and let's mandate solar and wind. And you have like Biden campaign talking about, hey, we should look to Bernie Sanders for guidance. Bernie Sanders said by 2030, we should be off fossil fuels, including for transportation. Nobody has any clue whatsoever how to have a battery-powered cargo ship or a battery-powered plane. So this is just complete insanity.
Not to mention how expensive anything powered like that. Cars, even powered cars, are so expensive. Many people can't really afford things like that. Alex, do we ever see the prices of oil going back up? When do we see this as we allow more people back into the workforce in different states?
Yeah, I mean, I think the key is, when do we get liberated as a country? This is something I've discussed on the show a couple of times. I'm against these universal isolation policies. I think they were justified by a lot of catastrophism, exaggerating a very real threat and thinking that the solution is to isolate all of us and shut everything down. As we get liberated, then we're going to be free to live our lives. And then, of course, we're going to choose to use low-cost energy, both to produce amazing products and services and to enjoy our lives to the fullest. So that'll bring back demand.
Well, we know that people obviously are not traveling right now. They're not driving. The airline industries are suffering. So we are seeing cleaner air. That's a fact. We're seeing it. So, what's this going to mean moving forward? Are we going to continue on with people, not driving as much, not polluting as much? Or is it inevitable that we could return to, of course, a smog casting over Los Angeles? Is that inevitable?
Well, yeah, so there's this celebration of, our environment is so much better because we're not doing anything. And of course, anytime you stop an activity, you can look at, what are the side effects of that activity? Those are being reduced. But overall, the world is much, much worse when we're stopping industry and stopping fossil fuels. And ultimately, if we can't use them, the world is going to be a lot less nourishing place because we won't be able to produce food in abundant quantities. It's going to have a lot less clean water because clean water is produced by using fossil fuels. And even with clean air, 3 billion people around the world are using wood and animal dung, and they'd have much cleaner air if they used modern fossil fuels plus modern pollution control technology. So I think we should keep being free to use the best forms of energy, and fossil fuels will keep getting cleaner and cleaner. That's the key to having an overall better world.
All right. Interesting to talk to you. Alex Epstein, founder of the Center for Industrial Progress and New York Times bestselling author. Alex, thanks so much.